Hey everybody, it is Paul, Dr. Nacho. Thanks for joining me for how to find a job in dentistry without burning your nachos. These are my favorite things to do, to speak with and share with dentists. The show is about you. So before we get started, I have a few messages for you. One, in life, the story is the star. Whether you're in a dental operatory, dental practice, the story is the star. Share a story yourself in the comments. If you're on Facebook Live with us, I'd love to hear about your story. Pop it in the chat if you have any questions throughout the show. Number two, sitcom style learning. I was a huge fan of sitcoms. Throw one of your favorite sitcoms in the chat. Here are some of mine: Seinfeld, Family Ties, Cheers, Modern Family, which I had said. So sitcoms used to be Friends back in the day. Super fun to watch. 30 minutes, 22 minutes or less. What can we learn? And if you're just waiting for the show to start here, you can text BOOST. Let me just see here 1 second. Okay, I should be able to hear me. Text BOOST to 215-543-6454. So the story is the star, sitcom style learning. Text BOOST to 215-543-6454. So there's be a lot of prizes for you to get, a lot of ways for you to connect, and most of all, a lot of value-based learning here over this next 30 minutes through the power of video and me sharing. So let's get started. Love to know where you're from. Pop that in the chat. And I mean, house, but nervous because you don't have any money. People are like, you're an adult. I'm like, I'm an adult with no money. It's a pretty useless adult. Yeah. Then you go to college, and you're like, I'm ready to go to college. Don't need to leave my parents' house. I remember August is like the popular time. It was 1995 for me. I went shopping with my parents. I was like, you need a dust ruffle for your college bed. Like, I cannot show up, Mom, with a dust ruffle to college. But that's making a statement. That statement is not, I'm a super chill guy here to have fun. So I'm very concerned about dust. Someone help me put my bed skirt on. So I'm going to take that risk. So you're at college. I mean, what they ask you to do to go to college, you can only do because you want to leave your parents' house. I went to Villanova. They sent us a message midsummer. They're like, we accepted too many people, right? Like, they didn't have control over that whole entire operation. You're gonna have to live in a room with 2 grown adult men and you. And I'm like, all right, I'll do it. I get to leave my parents' house. But I wound up sleeping on the top bunk, so that was good. I did not get the dust ruffle, because that would have been really bad. So you're in college, you graduate from there, but that makes you feel excited, you're done, but also anxious. You know, you have to get a real job for most people, but we went to dental school, so we're like, we'll delay that for a few years. Your friends had to go out and get a real job. Then you get to dental school that first day. Everyone kind of remembers the first day. I remember the first person I saw at dental school when we got out of our car, no cell phones. I'm like, that guy looks like he's going to dental school. I'm going to follow him. And you go in as like, you know, this bright-eyed person, like, I'm here to learn about teeth. Dental school's like, we're going to make you cry. So, you know, it's a very different experience. But you get through that. You graduate from dental school. I mean, that is like one of the greatest, best days, because, you know, you get your diploma on stage in some big ceremony, and you want to be like, I did it, dental school. I won. You do not have control over me anymore. But then, like, you gave us $400,000. There's going to be a lot of control for the next 30 years. You got to pay back these loans. So these transitions, you think about it, they make you feel excited, but also a little weird, right? Like, if you get nachos, you're just fully excited. No one also feels weird about getting nachos. It's just, so it's an interesting experience when you go through these things. Then you have some personal life transitions, like getting married. You know, that's a great day. It's also very serious. Like, we're talking about managing expectations, and I just don't think they manage your expectations for what marriage really is. Like, everyone's laughing because they're married. It's like, when you do it, when you're doing it, they use these words like, you know, love, happiness, being there for each other. It's like not a full informed consent, right? It should be like, it's way more serious than that. It's like, marriage is basically, it is a legal obligation to hang out with the same person for the rest of your life. If they put it to you that way, you know, I think people take it more seriously. Like, I'd like to stop hanging out with this person. You're gonna need to get a judge involved in that. So that's a serious thing. But all of those things put together, for me, I listed some of them here, all of those things put together not compared to the biggest game changer of all for me, the biggest transition, and that is having another human being. So this is August 1st, 2014. We're bringing Daphne home from the hospital in her car seat there. So you go into the hospital, there's two people, and you leave with a whole extra person. And as you're leaving, you're like, I feel like there should be more rules to this process. I mean, I just came with two people, I got an extra person, like, should I be taking a test, like doing jumping jacks, Sudoku, something? But they're like, no, just take them home, take your baby home. And you know, we put more training into baristas at Starbucks than to parents, and that's pretty insane, and sometimes you see that out there in society. But there is a rule in Philadelphia, I don't know if you can tell from this picture. It's a rule that makes no sense at all. You have to bring the child home in a car seat. You do not have to have a car. So you bring this up, and look at the child, it's like newborn baby frog. Your wife, that is a lot of effort they have done. I mean, Mary deserves like nachos for a long time for having a child. So like Paul, you got to strap your baby frog into this car seat, which is very difficult, into the room. That's the last thing the nurse says, just like, get on out of here. So people are just walking down Broad Street with their child back to their house. The rule makes no sense. It's like a rule from dental school. It's no sense. Like, we got these rules here. How come they make no sense? These are just the rules we've had for 50 years. So I think that, you know, when you go through these transitions and people don't help you with these big life decisions in a meaningful way, and big dentist decisions, you can just have problems, just like we heard yesterday from Rob Montgomery and Jamie Amos. And what I would like to create is just some more space about these transitions and what we're doing, because, you know, purchasing a dental practice, where you're going to dentist and anchor yourself for a long time. I mean, this is my brother Jeff and I at the sign at our dad's office. This is us. I was 8 and 3. See, like, I'm kind of, that face looks like I'm kind of bossing them around there. And I'm like, didn't change much 30 years later. But, you know, you go through these transitions. But we had a dad who was a dentist, so we didn't have to, you know, dig into all of these things in the same way. But we
So I'm super excited to talk with you about how to succeed in dentistry without really crying, how to find a good job without burning your nachos. Finding a job is so important. Also, if you're here and you're going to hire an associate, this is going to be super important for you to listen to. If you're going to buy a practice one day, that's important too. We have a list of practices available right now in New Jersey and PA, all different sizes, different stages. If you would like to learn about the practices that we have for sale right now, just email practices for sale to transitions@dentalnachos.com or text or email 609-802-5763. Is somebody watching from Utah, how to prepare for an associate interview, and what are some important questions to ask. So you are at the right place. We have an awesome dentist nachoir here hanging out with us who's from Utah, preparing for an associate interview. So we're going to go over all of that. As we get started here, I always like to give out a couple prizes here. I always say that connecting with people is pretty much the best part of life. The pandemic has created challenges with connecting face-to-face, but it's great that we can connect virtually, get to know each other so we know who we are. Hopefully we'll be getting back together soon, but this is part of the ABC. Always be connecting, always be communicating so that you can get your face out there even when you can't get your face out there. How could you do that? Through the power of video. Just pick up your phone, make a video of yourself, 30 to 60 seconds. I call it BTL video, bring to life video, put in your contact info, put it on a YouTube channel, and that's something you can email, you can text, you can Instagram, you can Facebook. A couple things we have coming up here. No matter what state you are in, there's always some live C requirements. Has anyone thought about how are you going to fulfill your live C requirements if there is no live CA? Hosting meetings, speaking, C is one of my favorite things to do. We have on demand, we have in person, and we have live stream. Right now, in person is not really a thing, but live stream CE, when you watch in live, it counts as live CE. You sit on couch, watch show, you can interact, ask questions, and there's going to be a code at the end, just like real live CE. And we've created the Super Dentist Boost just for this. So I'm so excited to be hosting this February 26th to 28th. You're going to be able to sign up for one segment or the whole weekend. We're going to have VIP Boost tickets for sale coming up soon. So whether you're watching this in the moment or watching this later, just text Boost to 215-543-6454 and we'll get you on this ticket list. Your state boards may not have changed the in-person requirement for CE. So how are you going to solve that problem? At Dental Nachos, we want to be part of the solution. Second question you might be asking yourself, how can I learn a little bit each day without overwhelming myself, right? I talked about the process of having a small human being join your home like I have now. It's overwhelming. How can you just do a little bit more each day? And we have that through Dental Nacho Flicks. If you text GIFT to 215-543-6454, you'll get a free 30-day pass to Dental Nacho Flicks. This is a dental nachoer, Dr. Jared Eli, sharing his experience. I recently signed up for Nacho Flicks for a few more dollars than a Netflix subscription. You can have access to extremely informative lectures where you can get, which you can access 24/7 and get see from the comfort of your own home. Clinical dentistry, practice management, patient communication, highly recommend for dentists who want to increase their clinical and practice management skills, but can't go to in-person CE. That's all of us. So you can take the on-demand CE nature of Dental Nacho Flicks, smush it together like nacho toppings with the boost, and you'll be able to fulfill CE requirements learned throughout this year. So what I did this morning, I love video. And usually I start off with what to ask on an interview. And we're going to get to that, promise, in our sitcom show. But what about when you have the job? What if you're sitting there and you have a job right now? If you want to put in the chat, are you looking for a job? You have a job, looking for a better job, looking to hire an associate? We have people with us here in the chat. I'd love to know where you are in this stage. But I made this video today. I was going to film myself. I said, maybe I should film these dogs at a dog park. And I put it on Facebook Live. It was very engaging because people seem to like watching dogs. But what are 5 ways to produce more profitable and patient-centered dentistry? Whether you're a practice owner, a dentist who's 43 years old, been a practice owner for 15 years, whether you're someone who's just going to start at a new job, producing profitable and patient-centered dentistry is everything. It helps everyone in the office. But what are some ways and strategies we can do this? So right now I'm going to start with the second step. Once you get the job, what can you do? So we're going to watch this video. I'm going to stop it at times, share with you. When you go to a course, a show, something like this, take some notes. Remember these things, RTT. Open up the notes on your phone, pop it in there and just say, just do 1 or 2 of these things. I'm probably going to give 30 or 40 suggestions just in 30 minutes, but maybe just take 2 or 3 of these suggestions. So here's 5 ways in 5 minutes you can produce more profitable and patient-centered dentistry. Five ways in 5 minutes to produce more patient-centered dentistry. My name is Paul, Dr. Nacho, and I've been a dentist for 18 years and practice owner for 15 years. Producing more patient-centered dentistry that is also profitable helps everyone in the dental office. It helps your team. It helps the practice owner. It helps you as an associate, and most of all, it helps the patient. But producing more patient-centered dentistry is not easy, especially if you're a dental associate and you have not developed relationships with patients for years and team members for years. So I want to share with you some nacho tips for you to do this. Now, I know if you're a dentist or dental student, you're thinking, I got to write this down. I got to make sure I don't forget it. I would much rather you just listen and embrace what I am saying, and you are welcome to get access to this video by checking out our Dental Nachos YouTube page. That's one way. You can email salsa@dentalnachos.com for associate survival tips. Just put that in the email. Or you can text survival tips to 215-543-6454. Why am I showing you a dog park? 2 reasons. This is part of my dad and Dr. Nacho walk during the day. And everybody loves dogs, so I know it will engage you while I share with you these tips. Number 1 tip, everything that matters needs a system, and everything matters. Number 1 tip, everything that matters needs a system, from what you do, what you say, how you act, and conduct yourself as a dentisting human. My best nacho advice is for you to systemize your clinical procedures for maximum efficiency. The book, The Checklist Manifesto. So there, let's stop for a minute. Let's learn while we're watching a video. Why do I make this video? Because I can share this video over and over and over and over again. You can watch it anytime, working out, walking around, but then you have me engaging you with this video. I got a great, someone entered here. They're a D4 student, graduating in May, looking for a job in private practice in Boston, Atlanta. When should you start looking for a job in dentistry? Day 1, D1. If it's after day 1, D1, you should be looking. Doesn't mean applying. You should be connecting. You should be developing relationships. Here's the book I talk about. Get this book, invest in this book. It is for everyone in life. It will help you be a more successful human being, a leader. The Checklist Manifesto is awesome. See how I said 5 ways. Also, shout out to Karen Cortell Rice, who's one of my speaker coaches. Checklists are so important. What did I share? Why do associates have trouble getting patients to say yes to dental treatment? Number one reason, patient doesn't know you. No patient relationships. It's not easy. I had to go join my dad's practice and build up patient relationships after I was a GPR for 3 years and had great patient relationships. So systemize your clinical skills for efficiency, because the number one thing you will get judged on harshly from a patient as a team is what? See if anyone can put in the chat. This is why I miss in-person see, because I could call on you and I can say, hey, I know these people in the chat. I never know if people want me to say their name or not. I got some awesome frequent flyers. Chairside manner is part of it. Chairside manner is part of it. But usually you guys are great at because you're likable people. You're nice. You're likable. You're enthusiastic. Sometimes you're way more enthusiastic than the practice owner. This is the thing that they judge you on harshly, and not the practice owner. They'll give me a break. They didn't give me a break when I was associate. They give my dad a break. This is what it is. Being late, not running on time. When you run late for any reason, you get judged as not doing well. It's not fair. Sometimes a root tip breaks. Sometimes the band flies off the tooth. Sometimes you're just trying to get really good contact on a class 2. Sometimes you trying hard and running late's a problem. So systemize what you do for clinical efficiency. That is one way more profitable in patient-centered dentistry. Let's find out the next way.
By Atul Gawande is a great start to that. Develop checklists, 7 to 10 points for every single procedure that you can share with your assistant so you're efficient. Stay on time. People will judge you if you stay on time or not, never more so as a new dental associate in a practice. You always want to do a good job, but oftentimes running behind is due to lack of systems on the part of the associate. Number 2 tip, connect with the office manager. Connect with the office manager and front desk team. What this means is get to know what they say to patients about financial arrangements and help develop your own systems. Oftentimes, associates are paid on percentage of collections. It is up to you to help make this system work by managing your patient expectations. So number 1, everything that matters needs a system. 2, connect with the office manager. 3, work on your words, work on your communication, work on what you say, how you say it, and how you connect with people, how to talk to patients like people, and more nacho magic will happen. A good tip for this is to take C on the topic. Read books, watch the video How to Speak by Patrick Winston, and join virtual Toastmasters. So we have everything that matters needs a system. Connect with the office manager. Work on your words. Number 4, offer to do as many hygiene checks as possible. If you're working in a practice with an exhausted owner, like me or my brother, say, hey, if
Okay, let me jump back in and go over 2, 3, and 4. Hang out with the office manager, hang out with the front desk. What's this mean? We interviewed my friend, Dr. Mark Costas. He's one of the most amazing business dentists out there. He said as an associate, when his patient didn't cancel, he would go and kindly annoy and hang out with the office manager. How does insurance work? How does payment plans work? I just had a poll on Dental Nachos. Does the associate have control over the patient paying? Put in your yes or no in the chat. Just put Y or N. You could do it. Just go into the chat. Does the associate have control in the practice over the patient paying? Y or N? Y or N? You can do it. We got a Y. Good job to this one here. We got another Y. Good job. Of course, Y. Did you go to dental school? We all went to dental school. Remember how we didn't get the patients to pay? How do we have control as associates? The relationships we develop. Do you review what the total cost is? Do you bring in one of your team members to review that? Do you get a vibe for the patient and how they're going to move forward? That all affects paying. So yes, the front desk has to collect the money, but you have influence and control, which is awesome. Learn how to talk about money. It's the key to being successful in your dentisting life. Work on your words. Here is something you can pay for to work on your words. To Sell is Human by Daniel Pink. Awesome way to work on your words. Here's a free way. Listen to Gary Vaynerchuk. Here's a better free way. Look up this YouTube video, How to Speak by Patrick Winston. How to Speak by Patrick Winston. Watch it. It's 60 minutes. It has over 3 million views. I've watched it 4 times in total, and I've given thousands of presentations. You are presenting to your patient every time you're talking. You're presenting to the practice owner and selling yourself. Selling, sharing, informing, connecting, educating, moving people forward. Daniel Pink from Sell is Human, all part of the same nacho plate. So we talked about everything that matters needs a system. Everything matters. Work on your words. Hang out with the office manager. Let's see what else we have here.
there's any hygiene checks you need me to do, I want to do them. I want to get to know the patients and the hygienist. That is such a valuable skill. The practice owner may not want you to do certain checks on patients for what's the word for them, are super high maintenance, and may cause you to want to cry inside, but offering that to a practice owner is gold. And number 5, tip in 5 minutes to producing more patient-centered dentistry is the best tip I can give to any dentist. Develop a menu of treatment options that you can explain well. Work really hard on this menu and kindly don't care what the patient chooses. Work hard on your menu. Call it a menu. Share the menu. We have an amazing course on this. Just text menu to 215-543-6454 and you will see me sharing a missing tooth consultation with a real patient for 60 minutes. We will send you a code where you can rent it for free for 48 hours. Develop a menu, share that menu, but do not become invested in the patient's decision. Do not care what the patient chooses. Care a lot about your menu. I hope these 5 tips helped you. If I can help you in any way, just reach out to me at dentalnachos.com or text me at 215-543-6454.
So see how much learning you can put into bite-sized chunks, learning into bite-sized chunks. 5 things we talk about. The last 2 words, offer to do as many hygiene checks as possible. Always be the one saying, hey, if you need me to check a hygiene patient, I'd be glad to do it. Give me, some insight on the patient. I'd love to meet the hygienist. I'd love to get to know this patient's more. Great way to produce more profitable patient-centered dentistry. And finally, my best tip of all, if they said, Paul, you can only say one thing to all of dentists about treatment plan acceptance. It's got to start now. It's got to end in 20 seconds. Here would it be. Present treatment like a menu. Present treatment like a menu. Give the pros and cons. Let the patient choose. Don't become invested in the patient decision. Become really invested in your menu. We have an amazing course. It's me talking to a patient about a missing tooth consultation. You just text menu to 215-543-6454. You can rent it for 48 hours. We've gotten such great feedback on the course. That's the best way for me to break down this system. So those are the 5 ways to produce more profitable and patient-centered dentistry. This is when you get the job. This is when you're there as an associate, trying to pay your loans, produce more, be happier, connect with patients. It's all about money and morale and money. You want patients to say yes to treatment, to increase your morale, do what you want to do, and also so we all can make more money, because making more money in the practice is important to everyone, including the patient. Moving patients forward, a Daniel Pink line. Now let's shift to prepping for the interview from my friend from Utah, because he's going to prep for an interview. Now, this next video may take us beyond the end of our sitcom, but if you just text me job video, I'll text it to you right now. Okay, because I have it here. So just 215-543-6454. You can just text it to me because you've got this whole video. This may go beyond what we are going to talk about today. I like these 30-minute sitcom length shows so you can learn and you think I can start now and I can finish in 30 minutes. I'll learn this. That's how we've built a lot of Dental Nacho Flicks, including tons of courses that are 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 hours. So let's listen in here. This is a video I made today. Making more videos, such a key to being successful.
How to find a job in dentisting without burning your nachos. My name is Paul Dr. Nacho, and I'm standing in Philadelphia near the Schuylkill Expressway, one of the more challenging roads to drive on Earth. This is a road I've driven on many times. Never gets any easier. I do get more experience. So I want to share with you how you can find a job in dentistry without burning your nachos. So join me on this walk as I share tips on how to find a job without burning your nachos. So you don't have to scribble everything down or try to remember it. I'd rather you just learn from the video. If you would like access to this video, you can get it in a few ways. 1, text job video to 215-543-6454. 2, email job video to salsa@dentalnachos.com. So how can you find a job in dentistry without burning your nachos? You think dental school would spend a little more time on how to find a job and a little less time on the Krebs cycle and making mediocre bite rims. Why? Well, going to dental school, it's quite an expense. Some people are paying $600,000 to do that. So it would seem like it would make sense to teach those in dental school how to get a job to pay off their loans, pay their rent, and pay for food. But dental school's like, nah, we'll just rather have you memorize the melting point of gold, even though no one really uses gold anymore. Even though people call it the gold standard, we barely ever use the gold standard. But I've gotten rant sidetracked, and I'm going to get back on track here. So, how to find a job in dentistry without burning your nachos. There are important points, foundational points to consider about every job. First important point: why does the office need an associate? Why is the most important point. Is your associate position a car like you see here on the road, or a boat that you may see going by here on the Schuylkill? Not a lot of huge boat traffic.
So my friend from Utah is here. I want to help him or her. When you go to your job, you're thinking, is this position a car or a boat? Take a notebook just like this, okay? One of my friends gave this to me. Notebook just like this, and write on one side the 5 questions: why, where, what procedures, how I will be paid, what fun things there are there to do in the area. Is it a car or a boat? Do they need you or do they want you? If they don't need you, there's more risk for this job not working out. Doesn't mean don't take boat jobs. It just means be aware and prepared, and don't expect a boat job to turn into a car job because of this next point here.
Here on the Schuylkill, a car is a need, a boat is a want. If you take a boat job, you may not be needed later if they don't have enough patients. A car job is a need job. So what kind of whys are good to hear? If you're just like, hey, why are you looking for an associate? A good question to ask. And listen, golden nacho tip: bring small notebook. Jot down things to ask. Say to person interviewing you, hey, would you mind if I took a few notes on this position? You look prepared. You want to be aware. And what you have on the other side of the notebook are these questions. Why? Remember to ask why. Some good whys. The associate that they had at the office is leaving to go to a specialty program. Great why. The associate is leaving because their spouse got a job across the country. Another great why. The associate is leaving because things didn't work out. Still a good why, but find out more. You might say, oh, would you share with me an example of something that didn't work out? And listen, if they say the associate was too slow for our office, say, oh, I could see how that would be frustrating. Is there like an example of how the associate was too slow? Yeah, they wanted an hour for a crown prep, and we do all our crown preps in 20 minutes. That might be a red flag. They said, oh, the associate wanted 3.5 hours for a class 2 composite. That may be reasonable. So these are the questions you want to ask, because getting a job in dentistry is a super important step in your career. And if you do not get a good job, you often stay at a not so good job longer because you're afraid you won't get a different one. So the best thing to do is to determine if the job.
So if you were a child of the 80s like me, we had to be continued. There was no DVR. There was no binge watching. You watch Family Ties and you had to wait till next week and remember what happened. Well, that's going to be a little bit about what happens here on Dental Nachos TV. Find a good job. Finding a good job as a dentist without burning your nachos. So we're going to be continue this to our next show. But before we to be continue this, I'm going to give you a recap right now of what you saw in this video that's important. Is your associate position a car or a boat? If you're watching it now, you say, man, I want to watch the next of it ahead of time. Just text job video to 215-543-6454. I'll send you this whole video. No problem. It's also on our Dental Nachos YouTube page. But a couple things I said there as we wrap up this show. When we end the show, I will stay later to answer some questions. So if you're here live, don't jump off because I'll be glad to answer some personal questions for you. But what I want to bring to life, BTL, in concluding this episode of how to find a good job without burning your nachos. Is the position a car or a boat? 5 ways to produce more patient-centered dentistry. If someone is leaving a job, ask the why. If the dentist says they're too slow and they had to do crown preps in 20 minutes, that might be unreasonable. If it took them 3 hours to do a class 2, that might be a reasonable reason when someone's too slow. Ask questions, dig in a kind way. This is a job that will be for your money and morale. Money, pay back loans, eat food, pay rent. Morale, the dentistry you need to do, the kind of dentistry you need to do. If you're desperate and you don't start early and you don't have a lot of options, you're going to make a decision out of desperation, which is not a good one for such a big dentist life decision. If you want to see all the positions we have, just text job to 215-543-6454. Text job to 215-543-6454 and see all the 50 plus open positions in the US. So this concludes our episode, to be continued next week. Nacho team, thanks for your support here. You can finish this at this part of the show. I'm now going to stay around and answer questions of any kind for 10 minutes. For if you're here on Zoom, you're here on Facebook Live, you earn some time with me. So this is a great time to ask questions because I'm connecting people all the time. So if you have some questions in the chat, feel free to ask them. I'm glad to answer them. While you're thinking of some questions, I will play. Remember, we have our text boost to 215-543-6454 for the live in-person CE. Text gift to 215-543-6454. You get a free 30-day pass to Dental Nacho Flicks. Great tool there for you to learn more while you're doing anything, working out, walking around, waxing up teeth. So if you're here, I will stay here 10 minutes after the show. 10, the cameras are off, and now you can ask me anything that you want in the Zoom chat. It's a great time. While you're thinking of a question, here's a 90-second video about why this is so important, why this matters so much.
My name is Paul, Dr. Nacho Goodman, and I help dentists find jobs, connect with offices to work, and a lot of times it goes awesome. But there are times where it does not go so awesome, times where nachos get dropped or burned. Imagine being a dentist, leaving a job to start your own practice, and the job that you are leaving, the office demands that you delete your social media accounts. That is a true story from a dental nachoer who's going through a legal battle to not only keep the social media accounts that they've created, but also use their name for their practice. There are a lot of ways that associate contracts can cause problems. The best way is to be prepared and aware about what you're signing, how to connect with a dental-focused attorney, and what makes sense and what does not make sense. We are here to help you at Dental Nachos with our Job Connect program. If we can help, just reach out to jobconnect@dentalnachos.com or contact our Job Connect coordinator, Jill at dentalnachos.com. We would love to help you find a great job, but even more importantly, steer clear of ones with red flags.
Okay, guys, so I'm glad to stay for 8 more minutes. If we have any questions for the Zoom chat, restrictive covenants, buying a practice, buying into a practice, doing more dentistry at your job. If we were in person, I know I could probably draw some questions out of you guys. Person who is applying for a job in Utah, any more questions I could help you with before you get ready for your job interview this week? Just feel free to drop it into the chat. What are some red flags? Great. So what are some red flags? Oh, hey, this is a really great office here. This is you. Got your little book, okay? Your why, your how, your what. If you want that, the rest of the whole video that goes all of it, just text job video to 215-543-6454. Glad to just give you the YouTube clip, or you can go on Dental Nachos YouTube. It's one of the first videos there. So you say, oh, hey, this is a really great office. Looks like a great position. What are some of the reasons? Why are you looking for an associate here? I just want to make sure, so I jot that down. This is a good answer. Our associate is going to Perio. She was awesome. This happened to me, but she's moving on. Great. Our associate, her spouse is moving across the country and she's going with them. Great answer. Not so great answer. We're just so busy here. We're really busy. Got so many patients. We're really busy. How busy are you? Oh, just really busy. That is a red flag. Busy is a feeling, not a fact. I think it was Dr. Phil said feelings are not a fact. That's a red flag. They don't have a good way to explain how you're paid. To explain how you're paid should be very simple. You are paid $500 a day as a daily safety net guarantee, or 33% of net collections. You're paid as an employee. We're going to sign a 1-year contract. One of the things I want to share, I say is do not sign a associate contract without having a dental focused attorney look at it. If you want to know a dental focused attorney, glad to connect you to my podcast partner, Rob Montgomery, dentalamigos.com, yourdentalLawyer.com. Just email dental focused attorney to salsa@dentalnachos.com. You want to have your associate contract reviewed before signing it. It's one of the biggest problems, biggest disasters I see dentists doing. Either they're too cheap to do it or they don't know an attorney. Well, now you know one. So now just be cheap. Do not be cheap. You've just invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in your career. Great question there. Benefits of sweat equity versus traditional buy-in with practice loan with low interest rates. Sweat equity does not usually work outside of family relationships. These are stories, there's no studies. So I know you like studies, not you who asked the question, Dennis. How often do implants work? 94% of the time. How about we just complain about the 6% of the time they don't work? Dennis loves studies. These are just stories. Sweat equity is difficult outside of a family relationship. I would go regular way. Get a loan, value the practice. Buy-ins can be very risky. They can be awesome. They can be awful. They're some of the riskiest and most rewarding scenarios, buy-ins. Not a fan of sweat equity, never really understood it. It's way too feeling-based for me. Just do the normal thing. We have a great episode of buy-ins on the dentalamigos.com. What is the contact for the dental specific attorney? Just do this. Just email dental specific attorney to salsa@dentalnachos.com, or that's one way. We'll just do a TLC introduction, or yourdentalawyer.com. Rob Montgomery is the person. Benefits of sweat equity buy-in versus traditional buy-in with practice loan. Red flags. We talked about the why. A good way for you to get paid. Ask like, how long do your associates take for something? Just ask like you're curious because you are curious. Don't be like, how much money am I going to make here? How are associates compensated here? What's like the compensation plan? Just want to make sure I can cover my loans and my rent. Like it's all how you talk, how you speak, how you connect with people. That's how you move forward with success in life. That's how you identify, is this a good scenario or a not so good scenario? Is this going to burn my nachos or is this going to be good for my nachos? There's no perfect associate position. There's no perfect practice. There's no perfect husband except me for Mrs. Nacho. If she heard that, she would roll her eyes so hard, she would sprain them both. So I'm sharing with you, it's all about balancing. What's the part that I like about this thing? What are some of the challenges? But give yourself more options. If you didn't start day one, D1, you're late. I hate to say it. You're late looking for a job because you could be connecting, talk to specialists, look online. Our Job Connect program, Indeed, Facebook. If you want, does anybody want the biggest secret tip to finding a job? The biggest secret. You want to know it? They want to know it? Here, maybe there's like 1 million people watching. You want to know it. You're not going to like it, but it's a great tip. You ready for it? Super easy. Ready for it? Gonna really get, you better look at your comfort zone. You have to go right outside the comfort zone. Your comfort zone's here. Here it is. I'll use an example of my Facebook group. Okay. Post more on Dental Nachos as comments. Post more. Post 10 comments on Dental Nachos Facebook group or the Business of Dentistry Facebook group. Those are two good examples. Or Dental Success Institute Facebook group. Every day, post 10 comments. Here are the comments you should post. Applauding someone for sharing a case. Asking a genuine question. Oh, I see you did veneers here. Would you share with me why you didn't do full coverage crowns? Vote in polls. The more you put yourself out there on Facebook in a genuine, protected, boundary-filled way, you just share your dentisting self. You will become known to a community that cares. People talk behind the scenes in the best way. And someone's going to say, oh, you're looking for a job in Atlanta? My friend from dental school, who is not on Job Connect, it's not on Indeed, he needs an associate. Maybe he'd want to talk to you. But don't make it about you. Make it about the thing you're talking about. All of us know when we go to a party and someone just talks about themselves, you tune out. But when they talk about a thing, a great TV show, a great restaurant that they went to, now they're engaged. So talk about the cases. Like more stuff, post more stuff. Can you do it? Put in the comments, can you do it? Can you write 10 comments? I got so excited, I'm breaking things in Nacho headquarters. Can you write 10 comments on Dental Nachos a day? 10 comments a day. Some could be good case. Some could be great case. Can you do it? Someone said they wanted to know it. I got all of you are watching in still. Can you do it? I think you could do it. Not Instagram. Why not Instagram? Instagram's great for other stuff. There's not a lot of back and forth on Instagram. Instagram's a great platform. I use it too. LinkedIn, not as many dentists there. Go to a Dental Nachos, go to a Business Dentistry, go to a Dental Success Institute, go to a group where there's dentists hanging out and make genuine comments and people will get to know you. Like stuff. Don't even make posts. Don't worry about posts. Find something to comment on. Go in the search bar and put veneers. Go in the search bar and put endo. Go in the search bar and put price communication and make some comments on stuff. I got a Q&A one. Awesome here. Everybody sweet talks you when they hire you. How do you sort this out? All right. Great. Because people are always going to put their best foot forward. You sort it out by writing in your notebook the questions to ask, your nacho tips, Why do they need an associate? How are they going to pay you? What procedures do they want you to do? Where's the job? And are any fun things to do? You get a dental focused attorney to review your contracts. And how do you sort it out? By getting as many options as possible. Go on as many dental dates as possible. Call, FaceTime. My sister Jill connects you with offices. Find out about them. Because maybe that person is not for you, but maybe they know somebody. It's your reluctance to just get yourself out there in a big way. This is the time to do it. Controlled, classy, but in a big way. Post on Facebook, create a video of yourself sharing what you do. Know the questions to ask. On Dental Nacho Flicks, which you guys have a free month to if you want, just text GIFT to 215-543-6454. Couldn't be more free. Give up on day 29. No problem with me. Okay. You can stay renting if you want. That's great. I would love that if you did that. But give up on day 29. Watch all of them. I have a 4-hour presentation on all the questions to ask on an associate interview. It's all there on Dental Nacho Flicks. Prepare yourself so that when you hear someone answer a question, you know that's a good answer, that's a not so good answer, that's a run from it answer, okay? Like, oh, we do endo, you do a lot of endo here. Like, what rubber dam clamps do you have? We don't have a rubber dam. Run from it. Not a good decision. All right, guys, so that was perfect. We did a 30-minute show, 10-minute Q&A. We're going to end it, and we'll have another show next week. To stay connected with all these shows, just text CONNECT to 215-543-6454. All right, guys, I stopped the live stream. My pleasure. Really glad you watched in. And good luck with your interview. Let us know how it goes. I'll have more of these next week. Who's going to post on Facebook? Who's going to go right now and post on Facebook? Just so you see, I'm going to do it. Just do 2 comments. 2 comments. Say, great case. Thanks for sharing. Paul told me to do this. Good. You raise your hand. Perfect. You're going to say, Dr. Nachos said I should post more on Facebook. People love that. They love jokes like that. Okay. Just 2 comments. Perfect. Just comments. Don't make a post. Don't show, I don't know, some complicated full mouth rehab that you did in residency and people are going to say, you should have done at PFMs. It's too controversial. Just go. Fun stuff, dog stuff, food stuff, TV stuff, a little endo stuff, a little crown prep stuff. It's free. Do you guys like free? I know you're dentists. Most people like free. Dentists like you really love free. Just take phone, go to Dental Nachos, go in search bar, put jobs, put endo, put crowns, and just make some comments. You know what's even really good? Go to recent activity. I'm telling you guys how to use your own phone, and I'm probably the oldest one here. So does everyone know? I don't know if you can see on my phone. So here's Dental Nachos. When you scroll under the announcements, do you see recent posts? Just go to recent posts and just make a few comments, like them all, connect with stuff. So I know you guys can do it. Some things go by controversial. Leave the vaccine be right now. It's not the time to talk about the vaccine when you're looking for a job. Talk about the vaccine later, okay? Just go with fun stuff. All right, guys, have a great rest of the day. I'm going to go see what the moderators are doing. Really fun doing this. Nacho team will get this edited. Have a good time, guys.